Hey guys, what's up? This is Matt from the Antagonists, and you guys are watching an exclusive interview right now with the world's most controversial video game creators in the world. Destructive Creations, a small developer studio all the way from Poland, who on June 1st dropped Hatred.
The game, at its conceptual core, is very similar to other games like Super Columbine Massacre RPG, the Dawson College Shooting, and Postal.
You're the man.
So, the protagonist of the game is pitted against all of society with one sole purpose: kill civilians, kill police. There's been a ton of controversy around this game. People saying that this is everything wrong with video games. It has an adult-only rating, 18+, and cannot be sold in any stores in the United States, basically assuring that this thing is only going to be able to be sold on Steam online. And essentially, I leave this up to you guys to decide. I'm Matt, this is the Antagonists. You guys are watching an exclusive interview with the creators of Hatred, Destructive Creations.
So today we're talking with one of the most controversial game studios in the world right now. It's Destructive Creations. They've created Hatred, a game that came out on Steam June 1st and has been causing a lot of waves since last year in its trailer release in 2014 on YouTube. And we wanted to get a little bit more in-depth insight into the game Hatred and what's been going on with it now since its release. So why don't we start this thing off with 3 quick, easy questions. First off, what's your name, what's your position and at Destructive Creations, and what is Destructive Creations, for those who don't know?
Hi, I am Przemyslav, and I take care of marketing and business development in the studio. Destructive Creations Studio is located in Gliwice City in Poland.
What would you guys say is your ultimate goal or your mission with Destructive Creations?
Just like any other gaming studio, we just want to produce possibly the best and most fun games in the world.
And while trying to create these very fun games in the world, right, what are sources of inspiration? Essentially, were you inspired by public events? Are there mass shootings or mass shooting games like the Super Columbine RPG or Dawson College Shooting from Canada? Were these events and these games based on these events kind of influential in terms of how you guys were able to come up with the concept for Hatred? Basically, how did you guys come up with the concept for Hatred?
Hatred is inspired mainly by other games and other stuff we enjoyed in the past. The idea came from our founder Jarosław Zieliński. He had this game in his mind for some time, and once he made the prototype and the concept, we as Destructive Creations Studio started working on it. Just like that. There are no inspirations from any tragic events. There are far too many people trying to connect fictional game with real life tragedy, and I really wouldn't be looking for any connections in that matter.
Well, speaking of making fictional connections to video games, right? A lot of people online are asking, who would create a mass shooting game? Why would you create a video game where your sole purpose is to go around and kill innocent civilians and police, or as we call them, human shields in the video game? Why did you guys create Hatred? You know, was there a political or social message that you're trying to communicate through the game?
There's no political or social message. Game doesn't have any real life references. We just got inspired by Postal, that's all. We wanted to make more dark and serious game with more advanced technical gameplay solutions. The other reason is current state of gaming market. We did something that was opposing to current trends, because we don't like where the games are going nowadays. That's it.
So, you say you don't like where the games are going nowadays, and in fact, a lot of people online are bashing Destructive Creations for having created Hatred, saying it's everything that's wrong with video games today. A pointless game where you go around just shooting people. So, were you guys prepared to handle this kind of controversy, this kind of backlash, you know, before and after the release of the game? Surely we know before you weren't afraid to market off of that, and that helps sell the game. But was there anything afterwards or before that might have actually changed your mind while you were making the game to make you double take and think twice about the concept before you released the game?
We had mixed feedback of hate and love. Especially the positive feedback was overwhelming because we didn't realize that so many people want to have Hatred released and would defend it. I mean, that was awesome. But the negative feedback wasn't that surprising. There were some hate emails, the press was talking bad things about us, but there were no threats or anything serious, nothing that would change our approach before and after the release.
And so before the game's release, there was a lot of hype about the unique style of executions that people can commit in Hatred. This is essentially one of the main selling points for the game, and something that also made it very different from the similar isometric third-person shooter Postal, which made huge world records and scared a lot of people in the industry prior to Hatred. Did you guys keep in mind Postal as you were developing the game? Was this something to stay away from when you were developing it, or did you want to improve upon this existing model?
No, we didn't really feel that was a direct criticism. We openly admitted that the game is inspired by Postal, by the first part of Postal. Players have rights to speak their minds. It wasn't a problem for us. There wasn't anything with the game concept that we were concerned about. We just knew what we were doing since the beginning. I'd like to add that even running with scissors, people who made Postal liked our game a lot and they gave it a positive review.
And so, despite the positive reviews from people in the gaming community, in the first-person or third-person shooter gaming community online, despite those positive reviews and those people who appreciate it, there's obviously been that large backlash of popular opinion where people really do not appreciate the game for its shock value and because it visually directly relates to mass killing. This is a problem that the United States openly has and is widely recognized around the world. Do you think that this was a factor that played into the adult-only rating that was given by the ESRB for Hatred and the bans that certain companies like Twitch and other online services for selling games have placed on the game? Was this something you guys had to keep in mind?
No, we didn't really think about it this way. I can't really understand why there is so much pressure to connect a fictional game with tragic real-life events. Game doesn't have anything to do with what happened in reality. I mean, instead of making games the scapegoats for mass shootings, I would rather think about the real problems that are the cause of violence. With the contrast in rating, you can see how much the market is divided. Satisfying players was our main goal, and, well, we managed to do that.
And who was this intended audience, these players that you were trying to satisfy in the first place? Who are fans of Hatred?
Our fans are gamers just like us. They are regular and cool people. They enjoy finding anything that is interesting and has a different theme or gameplay comparing to what the mainstream market is giving them. We reached out especially to shooter fans, to people who like unconventional solutions in the game theme, for example. Many of our fans prefer rock, metal music. Many of them are very strong personalities with very individual approach to many aspects in life. They are just normal people. What can I say?
And so, regarding some of the specific features and gameplay, the terminology involved in the games, why in the second trailer are police and army personnel referred to as human shields?
They are the first armed units that come to hunt you and protect the innocents when you start the killing spree. I mean, it was an obvious name for them.
And so besides the unique executions of the game, which is, again, one of its defining points, you can destroy a lot of the map and almost run around, it feels, endlessly in a creative open world map. What would you guys say is your favorite feature from Destructive Creations that was included in Hatred? And what is the fans' most favorite feature that they have told you guys comes out of Hatred?
That will be obvious. The distractions and physics. It took us a lot of time and hard work to achieve the impressive visuals of explosions and to make almost the whole environment destructible. That's the thing we are proud of, and our fans enjoy every single detail in it.
And the game is actually very detailed, and in fact, it's this large amount of detail in the executions that has brought up so much of the criticism around Hatred. Do you believe that if we continue to make games that are as brutal and as graphic as Hatred, that society can kind of become too desensitized, and that people playing these games more and more often will become desensitized to brutal violence to make them prone to carry out these kind of public attacks in reality?
As far as I'm aware, there has never been a brutal attack inspired by the game. We heard of violent acts that were caused by political, ethnical or religious factors, but I don't believe that game can cause that. As a gamer, you should be aware that you take a part in a virtual farm, and if you have a problem to distinguish reality from fiction, then it is not a problem within the game itself, but within your psyche. I mean, you need to keep a good balance between gaming and reality to stay healthy, and that's all.
And speaking of keeping people healthy, right, and being able to differentiate between reality and virtual reality, do you think that are there plans to make Hatred into a first-person shooter? This would obviously blur the lines a little bit more since the game is currently an isometric third-person shooter, which automatically makes it a little bit less real. Are there plans to bring it into first-person shooter mode, or are there plans to bring it into virtual reality now that Oculus Rift and other virtual reality devices are getting developed?
No, we don't plan that. That would require overwriting the whole game, and that has never been in our future plans. Maybe if mods would be available, some modders would decide to do that, but I mean, it would be extremely hard. The game was supposed to be an isometric shooter, and so I think it would be pointless to port the game to Oculus Rift, for example.
And does Destructive Creations have any plans for a sequel to Hatred?
If a sequel for Hatred would be ever announced, it will take a couple more years. I mean, we don't know if that will even happen. We have different plans on the way.
And obviously these plans are going to be a little bit dependent on the followers who continue to support the series. Do you have any words for your fans?
Yes. We want to thank you all for supporting us in a good and bad moments during the game development. I mean, without your help, it really wouldn't be possible. Thank you.
And without the fans, obviously, you can't forget the media attention as well. Do you guys have any words for the critics or the media that covered Destructive Creations?
Yes, I do. Without them, the game wouldn't be so loudly discussed. They actually gave us a bigger awareness, and they partly contributed to our success. I mean, yes, we can say that we are also grateful for the media buzz.
And of course, you're gonna get the lovers and the haters of both sides of every coin. So we want to thank you guys for taking the time out today to talk to us, because clearly we know you guys are going non-stop with a DLC that's coming up for Hatred. So we want to thank you guys again for participating in this exclusive interview. We know you guys don't do these very often.
Thanks a lot too. It was pretty challenging to have a spoken interview for a change. Thank you.
And if you guys want to hear more exclusive interviews and provocative content from around the world, subscribe to the Antagonists YouTube channel right here. This is Matt with the Antagonists. Antagonize.
That's the spirit.